In this short video, we will be reviewing the active voice verb inflections. Please make sure that you have a handout. It's probably blue, it could be white, that says at the top active voice verb inflections. If it does not say active voice verb inflections, you need to find the correct handout. At this point in time, you might like to pause the video and take a few moments to write in all of the endings and the sample translations for each of the verb tenses, and then return to listen to a few ideas about conjugating and verb bases, as well as songs to help you remember the endings. The first thing that I would like to do before getting to the songs is to draw your attention to the fact that the inflection or the ending of a verb is designed to communicate to you the specific subject of the verb. First and foremost, it communicates subject. We know that this is true because the boxes or the columns are all indicating the specific person and number. And each of those is associated with a subject: I, you, he, we, you, and they. The second thing that the verb ending does is it also communicates to you, the reader, what tense the verb is written in. So when you see mus on a verb, you know that the subject for that verb is we. That is true. No matter what the verb tense is, the subject is going to be we. So we see mus in all of these endings on the entire chart. The look of that ending, so anything that comes in front of mus, whether it's nothing or just a BA or an ERA or an I or an ERI, that is what tells us or specifically identifies the tense of the verb. So we notice that ba tells us that it's in the imperfect tense, just the letter E tells us that it's future tense, whereas the letter I tells us the perfect tense, and ERI tells us that it is the future perfect tense. Now, before you move forward, this is very important to listen to, and that is that tense of a verb is determined not solely by the ending, but also by the base that is used for forming those various tenses. So take a look at the boxes beneath the chart at the conjugating procedures for both the present and the perfect system. Notice that in the present system, the base of the verb is from the second principal part, or the infinitive. That means that when you see emus with we as its subject and it looks to be in the future tense, you need to see that on the base of the second principal part. If it's not on the base of the second principal part, then you may not have the future tense and you may have a different tense. The same is true if you see the letters imus, which are the perfect system endings. You must understand that when we are conjugating verbs in the perfect, pluperfect, and future perfect tense, or when we're reading them, we have to understand that these verb tenses are built on the base of the third principal part. That often looks very different or has a couple of different consonants and vowels in it than the second principal part does. It is the combination of the principal part and the ending which helps you to understand what tense we are dealing with. I can be a connecting vowel, as we see over here for third conjugation, third IO, and fourth conjugation verbs. So how do I differentiate between the present tense of a third IO or a third conjugation verb and the perfect tense if they both have an I in front of the mus? And the difference is what principal part or what base is that ending added to. It will make all the difference if you keep that in mind. And now for the songs. Remember that we have songs only for the present, the imperfect, the future, and the perfect tense. They sound like this for the present tense. OMSTMUSTISNT, present tense, oigapai, present tense, oigapai. Forever will remember, present tense, oigapai. Now we move to the imperfect tense, which goes to the tune of John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt and sounds like this. Bam, ba, spot, bamu, spot, is bont is the imperfect tense. Whenever we go out, we always like to shout, saying bam, ba, spot, bamu, spot, is bont, ba, da, 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 da. And of course we can go on and on and on and on. For the future tense, we have a 2-verse song, which goes to the tune of This Old Man. Bo, bis, bit, bimus, bitis, bunt, future tense for 1 and 2 with a knick-knack, paddywhack, get yourself an A. Learn these endings right away. Ace, et, amus, atis, ent, future tense for 3 and 4 with a knick-knack, paddywhack, get yourself an A. Learn these endings right away. In addition to songs for the future tense, we also have some other mnemonic devices to help you remember about the future tense endings. Remember that we talked about how the future tense endings are stinky because they have BO. They start with BO. And we justify the fact that they have BO not because they are lazy and refuse to bathe, but because they are athletes. Specifically, they have been busy practicing their bunting skills, so we know specifically that they play baseball. Then you have to remember that you've got the letter I as the vowel between the B and the subject ending for all of the others. The stinky and the bunting focus on the O and the U, so you have to remember that the I comes in between. The future tense 3 and 4, we talked about being Amish because it starts with AM, and we focused on that ending because it starts with an A, whereas all other endings start with the vowel E. And we remembered that by talking about our Amish Uncle Amos. So we can remember and recall that all other endings after begin with the letter E. Now this is interesting because Amos doesn't sound like the letter E in front of MUS. It almost sounds like the letter A, and the reason it sounds like that is because the E on Amos is long by nature. Long by nature. So those are 2 ways that you can remember the future tense 1 and 2 and future tense 3 and 4. Now on to the perfect tense, which goes to the tune of, it's a counting song, 1 little, 2 little, 3 little Indians. It sounds like this. E isti it, imus istis erunt, E isti it, imus istis erunt, E isti it, imus istis erunt is the perfect tense. You should be able to also hear when we say these which endings are long by nature. The letter I is long because we pronounce it E. Isti, the first I is short, the last one is long. It, the I is short. Imus, the I is short. Istis, both I's are short. And then we say erunt, and it's erunt because the E on the ending is long by nature. That concludes our very quick review of the endings for the present active verbs.